I hear me out, bro, because I'm about to keep it blunt with y'all like a goddamn eighth of weed up in this bitch. The most powerful spiritual practice that you are probably not doing is contemplating your death. Yes, sir, let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. The most powerful spiritual practice that you are probably not doing is consistently contemplating your own death. And you might be wondering, okay, man, that sounds morbid. That sounds scary. That sounds demonic. You want me to contemplate my own death to get spiritual powers? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Well, relax. Relax. Relax, my guy. I'm gonna need you to just take a deep breath. Come on, do it with me. Because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. So first things first, what you must come to understand along this journey of life, along this game that we call life, is that this experience as a human being is impermanent. It's temporary. Everybody that you see will eventually RIP. That's a bar, write it down. Me, you, everybody that you see eventually will RIP. Rest in peace. Die. Let that marinate in your mind, let that sink into your psyche. Of course, that's an obvious. But how many people, how often do you actually reflect upon that? How often do you actually think about that? You see, in the Western world, death is seen as something bad. Death is seen as something that we should try to forget about, prevent, avoid at all costs. But guess what? Father Time is undefeated. The Grim Reaper is coming for you too. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 20 years down the line, it could be 100 years down the line. Who knows? Matter of fact, who cares? That is not something that you can control. But what you can control is contemplating that day, that moment. You see, in the Eastern traditions, the ancient wisdom of the past tells us that death is a transition for the soul, because this, your brain and body, your flesh and bones, is merely just a costume that you're using for the time being. It's an avatar, it's a skin, it's a jacket, it's some clothes that eventually you gotta unzip and take off. And when you unzip it and take it off, it perishes. It goes back into the earth. It rots. It dissolves, it decays. Because everything in life, aside from the spirit, is temporary. Everything has its cycles. And eventually, that cycle ends in order to open up a new cycle. And death is that transitioning point for the spirit, the soul, to finally unzip itself from this character, from this avatar, from this costume, and open up the doorway to the next stages of its evolution. If, only if, you have done the proper prerequisites, you have prepared your consciousness to take up that next climb on the ladder. AKA, you have dissolved your karmas. What are these karmas? These are the attachments that keep you bound within the material world. Your addictions, your desires, all the mental fluctuations within your mind that keeps you misaligned to your true identity. This is why the matrix, the Maya, the illusion, society as a whole, the material world that you see is all designed in specific ways to distract you from finding out that true destiny or why your soul was here, and that true destiny, which is called your dharma. Karma and dharma, two sides of the same coin. Your dharma, your destiny, is like punching in that one-way ticket out of this material world once you ascend, once you RIP, so you can actually RIP. You know, RIP means rest in peace. You ascribe that on these tombstones of people. Yet, I would say about 99% of people don't rest in peace after they die. You see that peace is pieced together within your life. Every decision that you're making right now is writing the story of how your next life will be, or will be writing the story of how you ascend back into the supreme, back into the sublime, back into the pure void of consciousness that you're from and everything else is from, but if we've been detached and disconnected from. Every decision that you're making right now, every single decision is writing the script on how your next life will play out, or it is building up the bridge back to the gateways to divine bliss. You can call it heaven, you can call it nirvana, you can call it moksha, you can call it whatever. That's where the soul's ultimate goal is pulling you towards. Transcendence out of the material plane, transcendence out of this realm of duality, transcendence from the cycle of samsara, aka the wheel of reincarnation. Because your spirit is sick and tired of going from body to body to body, from incarnation to incarnation to incarnation. Because where it really belongs, where it really should reside, is in the realized mind, is in the realized self. Yet what blocks you from that? Your karmas. Your karmas act as dead weight, preventing your soul from ever being able to elevate, especially at the moment of death. Especially at the moment of death. If you have all these regrets, if you have all these karmic ties, you have all these attachments, guess what? Your soul is not ready to ascend still. It's got all this baggage still that it's holding on to. And that baggage is almost like putting on a weight vest and jumping into a pool, jumping into the ocean. It's going to sink you down. It's going to sink your consciousness down. Where does it sink your consciousness down? Back to the dense realms, back into the physical realms. It doesn't ascend you up to the subtle realms. You see, what I'm talking about, dense realms, think about as water. Water, in its densest form, is ice, the physical. In its neutral form, it's liquid. It's in between the physical, or it's in between the dense, and it's in between the subtle. On the subtle planes, that water is the spirit. Your dense realm is the body. Your dense realm is those three planes of consciousness that are associated with your three lower chakras: survival, sex, status. That is the animalistic mind. If you live a life that is associated with being a slave to the animalistic mind, guess what? You're gonna need a body. You're gonna need a new incarnation that reflects the karma that you built up within this lifetime, that you associated yourself within those animalistic traits. If you lived a life in between, in the neutral realm, at the heart chakra, the anahata, why do they call the heart the mind in the esoteric and occult? Is because it is seen as that gateway point between the dense realms, the physical realms, the body, and the spiritual realms. And within the Greek mythology traditions, my bad, I don't know whether it's hard to say that, mythology traditions, but there is a god, Hermes, Mercury, that is seen as a messenger of the gods, sending signals from the spiritual realm to the material realm. Mercury in alchemy is associated with your mind, the heart chakra. That chakra is what separates the animal and the angel within you. It's the human. If you live a life operating on that realm, guess what? Your next incarnation will reflect that. But if you associate yourself and climb all the way up the ladder to these higher faculties, your higher three chakras, you start to embody the ability to detach from the material world. And that ability to detach from the material world, not that the material world is bad, not that survival, sex, and status is bad. You start to associate yourself with the higher aspects of yourself. If all you think you are is a brain and body, guess what? You're gonna live a life that is reflecting that, to the point where all you do is try to satisfy and stimulate the brain and body. survival, sex, and status. But if you go beyond that, you tap into your higher faculties through the spiritual practices, through your sadhana, through self-mastery, you start to realize that there's much more to this plane of existence beyond just the physical. There's much more to your human experience beyond just the brain and body. And the more that you associate with that, the more that you're writing the script or writing the pages or writing the pathway back to those spiritual realms, even at the moment of death. And this is why I say contemplating your death is one of the most powerful spiritual practices that a lot of people are not doing. In the East, this is very, very prevalent. And there is a specific practice, if you want to call it that, or a specific sect of people that do this to the extreme. These are the Aghoris of ancient India. So what are Aghoris? There's a lot of stuff to them, but I'm going to be focusing mainly on this. These are the yogis, the holy men that roam the cremation grounds in a specific city called Varanasi, one of the oldest cities in all of human history. And these people go there to get burnt after they die, get cremated. The city is flowing right next to the Ganges River, a river that is seen as a holy river. People are dunked into there, and it's seen that their karma is washed free before they burn themselves. Not burn themselves, someone else burns them. And that whole symbology of being burnt, where your body starts to smoke up into ashes, is that material sublimating itself to the subtle realms. The smoke rising up into the air is like your spirit burning itself free from the material existence, your consciousness burning itself free from the material existence, and that smoke rising back up to the sky, back up to the subtle realms. It's very symbolic, but there are yogis that go there and meditate, watching these bodies burn, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. They contemplate death. What do we do in the West when a funeral happens? We're crying, we're like, oh man, fuck this, oh dude, why him, why him? Why is he dead? Over there, they're meditating upon it. Because they realize it's gonna happen whether you fucking like it or not, bitch. You don't got a choice, motherfucker. You don't got a choice. So you better prepare yourself. And that's why they meditate upon it, realizing that this is a part of the cycle of life. However, they can break free from the cycle of life if they remain detached from even death. You can become immortal. Not this physical body immortal, but I'm talking about immortal in the sense where you align yourself back to your spiritual essence, which is eternal. Because you go beyond the constricts and the confines of the brain and body. The material world, especially in the West, wants to keep you stuck there, wants to keep you stuck in the states of fear, survival, chasing pleasures, temporary illusions, all to block you from ever accessing those planes of consciousness. Because if you do, you become unbreakable. You become a glitch in the matrix. You no longer are a pawn on the chessboard within the spiritual game of life. You don't get played by the game of life anymore. You start playing the game of life. That's a bar, write it down, motherfucker. You don't get played by the game of life anymore. You start playing the game of life. You're no longer molded into a mere cog in the machine. Just living your life distracted from the fact that one day you're done. This thing is done. You get unplugged. How are you living your life before that? How are you preparing yourself for that transition? Are you just gonna get stuck coming back to another cycle? Or are you gonna prepare yourself to the point to pass the test and ascend up to the next planes? You see, treat death like the DMV. If you don't know what the DMV is, if you're not from the US, the DMV is like the worst fucking place imaginable. It is the Department of Motor Vehicles. You go in there to get your license to drive. You go in there to get your registration for your car. You go in there for problems, this and that. It's a fucking dead place where you gotta wait in line for hours and hours. It fucking sucks. And let's bring this analogy. If you want to start driving, you gotta go there, take the test, pass the test. Now you can finally go drive off to where you want to go. But on this same analogy, it's like you are here in the material world to pass a certain test, to dissolve your karmas and discover your dharma, discover your destiny, to discover what you were really brought here to do, aside from just satisfying the senses, because that is what the world will tell you. But I'm telling you right now, motherfucker, get this in your mind. Let this sink into your psyche. No amount of cars, clothes, money, or hoes will ever satisfy your soul. You can be balling on the material realm and still feel that void in the soul, deep in your core. And you're gonna think, oh man, if I get even more car, more clothes, more hoes, I'll be okay. No man, it's a bottomless pit. It's a never-ending cycle on this hamster wheel of desires. This is what the Western world wants you to be distracted by. They want to put you under this hypnotic spell where you never snap out of it and realize, damn man, this is just temporary. What the hell am I really brought here to do? What really sings to my soul? What is my spirit actually meant to do? This is something that very few people will ever contemplate on, because first of all, they never contemplate death. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down, man? It's like going to the DMV and continually failing your tests over and over and over and over and over. You're not getting the signs. You're not getting the signals. You need to get back into the lab and actually prepare for the test. But when it comes to this game of life, passing that test, not the driving test, you need to get back into the lab of self-mastery, of your sadhana, of your spiritual practice that helps you ascend up the spine. What do I mean by ascend up the spine? You see, your spine is where your consciousness resides. You have different areas of the spine that correlate to different chakras, different planes of consciousness. The more that you stimulate the lower planes, the more that you root yourself in those lower planes, where all you think about, where all you look at in life is about survival, sex, and status. But as you break free from it, through the journey of self-mastery, you start to ascend up the spine. And the more that you ascend up the spine, the closer and closer you start to realize what your dharma is. Because I always say it on this channel, your dharma is always there. Your destiny is always there. It's not something that you got to find in the external world. It's not something that you'll find in a podcast, in a book. This is internal knowledge called gnosis that you must crack and activate. And that resides up in your higher faculties, up in the higher chakras, up in the higher planes of consciousness, which is detached from the material world. Because only there will you find what really sings to your soul, what your soul was really brought here to do. The more that you stay rooted in the lower ones, all you're going to be thinking about, all the information that you're going to be getting internally is about survival, sex, status. The things that correlate to the animalistic mind, because that's all that you are, an animal with an iPhone. But you as a human have a different journey, a different experience possible to you. If that was all you were brought here to do, survive, have sex, and achieve status, you would have came here as a dog. Because the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is damn sure smarter than you and damn sure smarter than me. If that was your destiny, you would have came here as a dog, because that's all a dog is going to worry about. That's the dharma, that's the destiny of the dog. But you were brought here for a much bigger reason, much bigger purpose that you already know, but you are stuck in this state of spiritual amnesia, I like to call it. A spiritual coma where you have forgotten that. Doesn't mean that that dharma is not there. It means like when the sun is out, the sun is out. But sometimes it's cloudy, sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's snowing. Does that mean the sun is not out? No, even beyond those clouds, behind the snow, behind the rain, the sun still shines the exact same way. That's your dharma hidden behind all those karmas, behind all these distractions, behind all these illusions. And the only way that you clear away those karmas and clear away the clouds, clear away the rain, clear away the snow, to realize the self, realize your true destiny, see the sun for what it is through self-mastery. Once you get that, you got the tools, you got the info to pass the test. You can go into the DMV, finish it off, and can get in your car and drive up out of there. You're not stuck in that line. You're not stuck in that cycle. You're not stuck in samsara. Come on now, man. Do you see what I'm saying? If you contemplate death, if you really let that stuff marinate in your consciousness every single day, you meditate upon it. You let it marinate in your mind. You let it sink into your psyche. It's gonna act as a source of super fuel, a source of fire under your ass to realize, yo man, I don't got a lot of time here. And if I don't wanna waste this incarnation and go to another life where I'm stuck in the cycle once again, I gotta use this opportunity right now for my liberation by breaking free from those karmas and discovering my dharma. I don't got time to waste because I might get in the car and die. I might walk out of my room after listening to this guy and die. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but that's just reality. You don't know when it's your time to go, so you cannot waste it. You cannot waste your days in a daze. You cannot waste your days in a spiritual daze, in a spiritual haze, where you just live life in a mechanical nature, where you live life like an animal, where you live life with no aim, no direction, no purpose. You might have a job, you might have a career, you might have goals, but I'm talking about a real aim, a real direction, and a real purpose that goes beyond what you've been programmed to believe. Yeah, the world tells you go get a job, the world tells you to go get married, the world tells you to go have kids, and then you'll be successful. Maybe that's your path, but I guarantee you it's much more than that, because that sounds like what a dog needs to do. Survive with a job, have sex or reproduce, have kids, and achieve status with a good position in life, with a house, with a mortgage. Is that all you were brought here to do? What the fuck, bro? Wake up. Contemplate death and realize, imagine you live that life and you're there on your deathbed. Wow, man, my soul is so satisfied because I just lived a life following the same normal status quo for everybody. You're gonna be satisfied? Maybe you are, but damn sure I'm not. Damn sure I'm not. And I'm willing to die trying to discover my dharma and dissolve my karmas than to just live out a life like that. Because I contemplate death every day. I've had crazy near-death experiences. I see it. I've been face to face with death. And it told me straight up, that, yo man, this is not all there is. You don't just shut off at death. You don't just go to heaven or hell. You are writing your next life right now. So if you died, you would have continued where you left off. All those karmas still stick with you. You really want to ascend? You really want to get back to the sublime states? You better dissolve those karmas right now. Because guess what? You don't got a chance when you're dead. You're going to be pulled into another life. Get the spiritual amnesia again. Start this whole thing over again. That's the cycle. That's the journey. Do you want to break through it? Well, it takes sacrifice. And that sacrifice is through mastering the self. That's all that we talk about here on this channel, on the main channel, The Philosopher. If you don't know about that main channel yet, man, we do our nice, high quality, cut, edited content, the documentaries. Then check out the link posted in the description box down below, because now you'll find the actual main channel, The Philosopher, right there for you, as well as the link to my Instagram if you ever want to DM me to talk about any of these types of topics, right there for you. But again, all the stuff that we talk about on this channel, the main channel, The Philosopher, if you ain't up on that now, man, if you didn't know, well, now you know. Run up, subscribe, get up on some motherfucking games so you guys can elevate on every plane, along with what we talk about on the private Patreon community. Man, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. Let's take a quick pause right here, right now. Because if I'm talking to those who are truly devoted to this spiritual path of self-mastery, to actually attaining their highest potential, to actually tasting some of that divine nectar on every plane, the mental, physical, and spiritual. If you're one of those people, and I'm guessing that you are, if you made it this far into the video, if you have not joined up into the private Patreon community yet, man, I'm gonna need you to go find the next closest mirror to you. I don't care if it's in your car mirror. I don't care if it's in your selfie camera. I don't care if it's your closest bathroom. Take a good, hard look in that mirror. Really analyze the person that's staring right into your soul, that's staring right into your eyes. Get a good mental picture. Click, clack, your Kodak moment. And I want you to realize that you're doing that guy, not me. The person that's staring right into your eyes and right into your soul, a huge disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community yet, because we are truly uncovering and going in depth and in detail to this esoteric science of self-mastery that you are gonna, I'm telling you, man, if you think this is some real game, real sauce, your mind is gonna be motherfucking blown with the stuff we cooking up over there, man. Because this is some real deal game, real deal sauce. Breaking down ancient texts, breaking down these esoteric doctrines, breaking down the occult teachings of the past that act as blueprints, that act as guides to help us realize who we are, what it is we were really brought here to do, so we can live a life that is aligned to that destiny, aligned to that dharma, and aligned to our true purpose, the thing that will bring us towards the path of realizing our divine nature. So not only do you get access to all that good stuff, that in these type of exclusive videos you ain't gonna find on this channel, you ain't gonna find it on the main channel. Matter of fact, you ain't gonna find it anywhere else on the internet, because your boy goes in depth and in detail over there. So if you're ready for that, man, you'll get access to all those exclusive videos, but also access to our full guides, in-depth occult lectures, digital libraries, and most importantly, if you tap into the Philosopher's Circle, aka the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community, you'll get access and an invitation to our private group chat where we host our bi-weekly mastermind live calls. Yes, sir, you heard me right. Live calls where you hop on a call with me as well as a community of like-minded men who are also on this path of self-mastery, who also realize that, hey man, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a mission. I'm here to realize myself. I'm here to follow my destiny, follow my dharma. And I'm willing to dissolve my karmas. I'm willing to sacrifice for that journey to actually uplift and evolve consciously to awaken my soul. If you want to be surrounded with people like that who are serious about this path, if you are too, I'm telling you, man, the Philosopher's Circle is the place for you. If you want to be around people who are going to hold you accountable to this, who want to see you elevate and eventually want to see you liberate from the cycle of samsara, I'm telling you, man, lock in with the Philosopher's Circle, because I'm telling you, it is a place for you. I can 100% guarantee you that. 100% assure you that. But if you need any more information about the Philosopher's Circle and the private Patreon community as a whole, check out the link posted in the pinned comment of this video, not the description box. The description box, again, is where you'll find the link to the main channel, the Philosopher, as well as my Instagram. I'm talking about the pinned comment. Just scroll down to the comment section. You'll see it right there. Click that link and you'll be forwarded to our page where you'll find access to the private Patreon community, as well as the other services I provide, such as application forms for my personalized coaching program. Because if you're someone who's even more serious, who's really ready to take their life to the next level and take that leap of faith into the unknown, to break free from all the illusions, break free from all the degeneracy, break free from all the things that are distracting you from your true purpose, from your divine nature, from your destiny and dharma. This is what this program is about. Shoot me an application and we'll see if your entry meets the qualifications and criteria of this coaching program. Because again, this is a personalized approach, a systemized solution using the practice of self-mastery, the esoteric science of it, to help pave out a pathway for you to truly uncover your purpose and live a life that actually liberates you. Live a life that actually fulfills you by first, of course, disintegrating, detoxing, and dissolving all those karmic ties, those degenerate habits that are blocking us from ever realizing that true nature. Again, if you're interested in that, you're really ready to take your life to the next level, tap in with the application form and we'll see what's up. If you meet the qualifications, we'll see after that. But also, if you're trying to just book a one-time consultation call with your boy, discuss anything that you're dealing with to help you get back on the right track towards realizing the self, book a call, we'll chop it up. We'll talk about all these different types of things in depth and in detail. But again, all that good stuff posted in the pinned comment of this video. Just click that link. You'll be forwarded to our page, and you can pick and choose whichever one of these services sing to you. But like I was saying, all the stuff that we talk about on this channel, the main channel, The Philosopher, again, description box down below. Run it up. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, all that good stuff. What we talk about on the private Patreon community especially, and especially within my personalized coaching program, is all about giving you the tools to be able to break free and realize that, hey man, this is just temporary. I got to use this body as a vehicle. I got to use this brain as a steering wheel. And I got to start whipping the car with my soul to get to the end destination where I need to go. I don't got time. I need to contemplate death every day. I'm too much stuck in comfort, especially if you live in the West. Especially if you live in the West. We stuck in comfort out here. Unless you've had a traumatic experience, unless you've had a near-death experience, unless you had something real hit you hard, you probably have never contemplated death. Maybe your relative died, this and that, and it hit you, but when you contemplate your own death, it's a different ordeal. This is why the Greeks have this saying, memento mori. They meditate upon it. Remember, you will die. That is the translation, memento mori. Remember, you will die. Meditate upon that. Tattoo it on your arm. I don't care. Remember, you will die. Today, tomorrow, whatever it is. Are you living a life that is aligned to your dharma? Are you living a life that is truly fulfilling your soul? Or are you living a life that is completely degrading your consciousness to the point where all you think you are is just a brain and body? Because the world wants you to do that. The world wants you to remain stuck. The world wants you to remain within the cycle. Your soul ultimate goal is liberation, transcendence. You're not going to find transcendence by remaining stuck in what the population of society is doing. You must be like those yogis in Varanasi. Sit and contemplate death every single day. Not in something more morbid, not something like, oh man, final destination, how am I going to die? No, contemplate that, realize that this is the transition point for my soul if I prepare it properly for the next stage. Meditate upon that. Envision that. Envision you opening up that door to the next realm, to the next stage, to the next plane. Because once you start realizing that, you're going to have that thing, you're going to have that vision subconsciously implanted into your psyche, and it's going to cause you to make better decisions. It's going to cause you to act in accordance to that vision. The more and more you do it, the more and more it gets submerged in your subconscious, and the more and more as a act of second nature will you start living a life that is aligned to the spirit, that is aligned to the soul, because you're not, again, running away from death. Oh man, I got to be a good boy because God is not going to let me go to heaven anymore. No, that's some Skyfather bullshit. That's some religious propaganda. I'm talking about, hey man, if I don't want to be in the DMV no more, I don't want to be stuck in this line no more, I actually want to go and drive. I want to get out of this little fucking box, the material world. I got to pass the test. I want you to contemplate it like that. Shift your perspective on death and envision it as that transition point. Yet you are stuck from never being able to transcend and transition because you haven't passed the test. I don't know how many times you failed the test. I don't know how many times I failed the test. But I'm making sure in this lifetime, I'm at least going in prepared. Because I'm trying to master the self. I'm trying to master the self. And I'm here breaking down again for y'all to do it too. But again, remember, realize this. Focus on the message, not the messenger. I'm not here to recreate the wheel. All this stuff has been said and done before. My dharma, my destiny for the time being is to revive this ancient wisdom and ancient knowledge of the past given to us from these ascended masters, from these awakened sages, from the true yogis, the true self-realized men who gave us the blueprint on how to actually map out our journey back to the states of divine bliss. And they told us to contemplate death. They told us these practices. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 9, there is nothing new under the sun. I'm not out here recreating the wheel. I'm just trying to make it more applicable, more practical for the modern man to apply it into his life. Because again, if you're living in the West, we are way too comfortable out here. Way too comfortable out here. And this comfort is killing and cucking your spiritual growth, your conscious ability to ascend. And the main reason why I'm saying for you to contemplate death is to realize that if you contemplate death, you will start to live a life more alive. You'll start to realize what I'm saying is a beneficial practice rather than something you should be scared about. Death is not something you should be scared about. Death is something that you should embrace. You should be ready for it each and every single day. Stare it in his eyes. Be like, yo, man, if today's the day, I'm ready. I might not be as ready as I want to be, but I'm ready at least. That's what I want you to really realize and embed into your system. Because again, man, the people that watch this channel always say this, in specific, the Philosopher Files, the second channel right here in the field, in the flesh, dropping out at games. You guys can make these games. You dig what the fuck I'm saying? Just straight up speaking off the dome, no cuts, no edits. You guys are already in the 1 percentile of the population that doesn't have brain rot and can watch a video for this long. But you add on top of that, the fact that you're able to grasp these higher level concepts that flows over most people's heads. There's a reason. This might be the incarnation for you to actually build out the pathway for liberation. You cannot waste it. So when I'm telling you all this stuff, don't let it just sink into your mind and you don't apply it. Turn that knowledge into gnosis. Knowledge up in the mind, gnosis that resides in the heart through first-hand experience. That's how the transition is made. Be willing to sacrifice. Be willing to master the self. Be willing to go beyond. And as the cops come around, you hear them, because I'm speaking that game. Let's take a quick pause. As you see right there, man, when I speak that game, the feds is on my ass. Pause, pause, pause. But like I was saying, if you are starting to actually grasp these concepts, again, forget about the messenger, focus on the message. That is a clear sign, clear indication that I don't know what you've done. Maybe in the past life you dissolved some of the karmas that puts you in the right position to actually ascend to your dharma right here, right now. But who honestly cares? You have to take this seriously. You have to take this really deeply to the fact that, yeah, man, maybe this is the incarnation that I start to carve out the pathway to liberation. I need to contemplate death each and every single day in a positive aspect to use as that fire under my ass that pushes me to advance, that pushes me to apply the wisdom that I soak up here on this channel. And again, if you ever want to go deeper, I'm telling you, man, this is nothing compared to what we got in the private Patreon community. This is nothing compared to what my coaching program is about. If you're really ready to take that leap of faith into the unknown, into the depths, and really contemplate death and use it as a tool for you to transcend, we got all that good stuff, again, posted in the pinned comments video. Just click that. Choose it, man. Choose. Do you want to go in the private Patreon community? Apply for the coaching. All that stuff is right there for you, man, for the true spiritual aspirants. Because again, if you made it this far into the video, I'm guessing that you are. I'm guessing that is where you're at along your journey. And I promise you, if you start applying this spiritual power, this spiritual practice, you will start to see yourself progress on a whole nother level. Contemplate death consistently each and every single day so it gets submerged into your consciousness. You can meditate upon the word, the mantra, memento mori. You can meditate upon the envisioning of you dying on your deathbed. And I want you to put yourself in that situation. And I want you to realize after you come out of the meditation, what do I need to do so when I'm at that deathbed or when I'm at the door of death, I'm not stuck in the DMV anymore. I'm not stuck in that line anymore. I can actually open up the door and get onto the next plane, into the next dimension. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to come back into the DMV again. I don't want to fail my driver's test over and over again. Matter of fact, funny enough, before we end off this video, you got to do a permit before you get a license. The first time I took the permit test, failed it. Second time I took the permit test, failed it. The third one, I was like, man, I'm not coming back in this bitch. I got to find a way to fucking finish this out. So I locked in. Take the same analogy, lock in on the spiritual plane so you ain't got to come back here on the cycle of samsara again. Contemplate death. once I contemplated that I would have to come back into the DMV again and pay again, oh man, no, I took it seriously. But this time you're not paying with money, you gotta pay with self-mastery, you gotta pay with the sacrifice, you gotta pay the price to ascend up the spine, open up your consciousness by detaching from all the karmic bullshit that you're addicted to, that the world hypnotizes you to follow. Once you do that, once you are actually on this path, you'll start to realize that what I'm saying is not morbid, it's not scary, it's not demonic. It is truly the most powerful spiritual practice that you're probably not doing. But let's end it off right there, man. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all day games so you guys can make these gains, and I'm out of here. Peace.